Walkability and the Threat of Extreme Heat, Part 2. How does this affect Massachusetts? In this video, I will be discussing the heightened heat risk of several populations. I use satellite data and census data from this part of Massachusetts to calculate average surface temperatures for different people. Please note that surface temperature is not the exact same as air temperature, but it's still useful for relative comparisons. The hottest neighborhoods in Massachusetts are located in urban areas, and so are the neighborhoods with high populations of Hispanic or non-white people. This is a map of the percentage of non-white people in the greater Boston area. In the study area, census block groups over 80% non-white are about 16 degrees Fahrenheit hotter than those which are over 80% white. Similarly, block groups over 80% Hispanic are about 14 degrees hotter than those which are over 80% non-Hispanic. This disparity is an environmental justice issue with roots in redlining, a practice from 1935 to 1940 in which the federal government's Homeowners Loan Corporation assigned grades to residential neighborhoods, which communicated to banks and lenders which areas were seen as safe investments. The process of grading neighborhoods factored in the racial identity of residents, and neighborhoods with high populations of African Americans and immigrants frequently received hazardous grades. Though not practiced for long, redlining has had generational impacts due to disinvestment. These impacts extend to heat exposure. In Massachusetts, neighborhoods graded hazardous are about 13 degrees Fahrenheit hotter on average today than those that were graded best. Low-income people are vulnerable to extreme heat because they are more likely to have pre-existing health conditions, lack health insurance, and lack air conditioning in the home. In the study area, census block groups with over 60% of the population poor or struggling are about 14 degrees hotter on average than those under 20%. Older adults are also vulnerable to high temperatures because their bodies retain more heat, so it becomes harder to cool down. They're also more likely to have chronic health conditions and lack a social safety net. Municipalities should really prioritize cooling neighborhoods with high aging populations. Children are similarly vulnerable to heat because their bodies sweat less, and they're less likely to recognize the signs of heat-related illness before it becomes serious. We need to prioritize these neighborhoods too. If you want to learn about environmental justice in your neighborhood, the Tree Equity Score is a great place to start. It synthesizes several social vulnerability indexes with environmental data to bring to light which areas deserve the most attention. So now that we know where to start geographically, what are the solutions? Let's talk about it.